When the light came from the bracelet, he hugged me. He did it because he was worried I'd get hurt. Was he happy to see me again? I don't know anymore. Sion called out to Layla, and she answered with a start. Huh? Are you okay? You seem a little out of breath. Oh, you're right. I was a bit distracted, so I didn't notice. This won't do. You should go inside and rest for a bit. It's just because I don't exercise much. A moment later, she sat down, panting. Is everything really okay? Do you usually get this short of breath when you walk a lot? I'm really not in pain anywhere. It's just a physical issue. She said that, but in her head she thought, but it's especially bad today. If I just sit down, shouldn't things get better? But why does it feel even worse? It must be because my heart is beating a little too hard, so I'm a little dizzy. Huh, that's strange. Why is my heart? Suddenly, she coughed up red blood, and Sion cried out in shock. Layla! Before she fell unconscious, Layla thought to herself, no, Sion's going to be so worried. Meanwhile, a horrified Sion kept shouting, Layla! Later, she looked at herself in the mirror and said, I look like I'm already dead. Things like this might happen over the next few days. What would happen if I really died? When I turn 20, will the world end? Just then, there was an announcement. Layla, the high priest has arrived. I am but a humble servant of God, who has long since forgotten his own name. Therefore, please call me high priest. Thank you for coming all this way. He replied, anytime the hero here asks for help, I will be there immediately. That's enough with the greetings. Let's begin the examination now. My lady, may I touch your hand for a moment? One hand will be sufficient. Layla held out her hand and replied, yes, here you are. The high priest clasped her hand tightly, closed his eyes, and began to concentrate. Layla's face was pale, clearly showing her tension. Standing behind her, Sion asked, can you feel anything? I believe so. It seems there is something inside the lady's heart. Hearing this, Sion was utterly shocked. Layla asked, inside my heart? Do you mean she has a heart condition? It seems this is different from a heart condition. I think I should explain this first. There is something called soul energy that flows through the human body, also known as the spirit of life. It is the power essential for a person to exist. However, the lady's body currently shows no sign of soul energy at all. What? Even though she should have been at death's door, the lady is still alive. Perhaps, I believe it is because of that, something in the lady's heart that I mentioned before. Although the reason is unclear, it seems that thing has also fallen into a state where it can no longer use its power. Therefore, that must be the reason why the lady's health has suddenly deteriorated so much. Layla asked, if that's the case, then I don't have much time left, do I? Please be honest with me. Then about how much longer do I have to live? The high priest replied, I believe about half a year. Layla's hand trembled. So that's how it is. Half a year, Sion reassured her. I'll figure something out. There has to be a way. Can't we replenish that soul energy thing somehow? As far as I know, there is no way. That would be like bringing someone back from the dead. In other words, this is the realm of the gods. Is no longer human, however, about that thing in the lady's heart that I mentioned before. If we can find someone who understands its true nature, then perhaps we might be able to learn something. Sion calmly asked, what exactly is that thing? I'm not entirely sure myself, but I can sense a rather strange energy. It's a mysterious power similar to sorcery or magic. I don't know if the lady is a mage or a witch, or has had contact with people who specialize in such mysterious matters. Hearing that, Sion immediately thought of Daniel. Later at Count Kaido's estate, Cecile asked Sion, what on earth is going on? Layla is sick, so why are you looking for Daniel? I'll explain later, Cecile. Right now, I need to find Daniel as soon as possible. You're not planning on doing something reckless here, are you? I don't know either. You can find out for yourself. This is Daniel's research lab. He's usually in here. I'm only telling you because you asked, Sion, but I hope nothing unfortunate happens. As soon as she finished speaking, Sion immediately threw the door open, startling Cecile into shouting, Sion! Daniel turned around in surprise and said, Duke Ashit, what brings your grace here? Cecile replied, Sion has something to discuss with you. Sion walked over and asked coldly, you definitely know something, don't you? Pardon? I don't understand what you're talking about. A slicing sound rang out, and the shirt over Daniel's chest was torn open. Cecile cried out in alarm, Sion, what are you doing? Sion didn't answer but pointed his sword at Daniel and said, tell me, why you asked about Layla's health that day. He recalled what Daniel had said before. I just thought it was excessive personal concern, but then when I heard the news that Layla had injured her wrist, you had no particular reaction, even though you deliberately waited for me to ask about her. Yet you didn't seem concerned at all. So why were you so bothered about her condition, unless you were waiting for a different answer from me? Back in the present, Cecile asked Sion, are you suspecting Daniel over that? He was the one who helped Layla escape. Just then, Daniel's expression became solemn, and in a serious tone, he said, as I suspected, there is a problem with the lady's heart, isn't there? Yes, I had my suspicions, but I thought I had to see the lady first to be certain. Sion asked again, if what you think is true. Then can you save her? There is a way. I will tell you more after I have examined her more closely. Hearing this, Sion lowered his sword. He turned and said, we're leaving now. Follow me. I'm sorry, Cecile. Things are a bit urgent right now, so I'll explain it to you next time. She placed her hand on Sion's face. It's all right, Sion. I hope nothing happens to Layla. Thank you, Cecile. After that, Sion and Daniel headed straight for the ducal estate. The following evening, we arrived at the ducal estate, and Layla asked, "You're back so soon, Sion?" "It's been a while, Daniel. Yes, it has been a long time. I only wish it were under better circumstances. I heard you haven't been well. Would it be all right if I took a quick look?" "Yes, of course. Then please excuse me." Daniel reached his hand toward Layla's heart, and a magical golden light flashed. Daniel closed his eyes to concentrate, and after a moment he said, "Yes, this is exactly what I've been looking for. So can she be saved? There is a way, and I'll tell you right now. But could you please have everyone else step outside?" The thing inside Layla's heart is the stone that the Moon Tribe calls the Time Stone. It possesses very special powers, created a long time ago by a member of the Moon Tribe. When it enters a human body, it will drain the person's energy if it detects that the body has not yet been destroyed. It will take over that body as a vessel while preserving its energy. Then at the very moment the person's heart stops beating, it will use the absorbed energy to reverse time. The Moon Tribe calls this property mending. The vessel is broken, but the problem is that it cannot repeat this act forever. When the soul's energy is completely drained by the Time Stone, the vessel can no longer be mended. Then the Time Stone will prepare to discard the vessel immediately. Miss Layla's condition is the same. Hearing this, Layla couldn't hide the look of shock on her face. Sion asked, "So what's the cure?" "It's simple. Removing the Time Stone isn't difficult. The problem is that her soul has also been stolen. But that's okay. We just need to replenish it. But I can't do it alone, so I'll need help from my clan." "Wait a minute, Daniel. The High Priest said that soul energy cannot be replenished. But you're saying it's possible, Daniel." Daniel said, "Our clan must take responsibility for having created the Time Stone. That's why I want to help those who have been affected by the stone all this time. So I researched and found a way." Layla asked, "What I'm curious about is, where will the soul energy to replenish my body come from?" I don't think you necessarily need to know that," Layla exclaimed in surprise. "Don't tell me?" Daniel interrupted. "I think your guess is correct, my lady. The stolen soul energy has been completely used up by the stone, so we'll need to use someone else's energy. This is a burden our clan must bear, so one of us will have to make a sacrifice." "All right, you don't need to worry about that, my lady." Layla was stunned, thinking, someone else's energy? When can you depart? The sooner the better. Suddenly Layla burst out laughing. "Haha, I've just found a way to live, but to do it I need to take someone else's life? That's just horrible." With that, she collapsed into Sion's arms. Sion cried out, "Layla." Afterwards, Layla came down with a high fever. For 4 days, she showed no signs of waking up. Apparently, this is the process of the body gradually shutting down. She would wake up, but her moments of consciousness were getting shorter and shorter. Sion questioned Daniel relentlessly while Layla was unconscious. How did Layla discover how to use the Time Stone, and what were the details of the Moon Tribe's method for replenishing a soul's energy? Cecile, who had rushed over as if she knew Sion would return, spoke as if she already knew everything. So he became suspicious. He realized Layla must have been the one who told her and began to watch her, and also spoke about how to replenish soul energy. He answered in thorough detail, just as Sion wanted. And then, on the 4th day, Layla woke up. "Layla, are you okay? Your fever broke a while ago." "Sion, how are you feeling?" I'm still alive. Drink some water first. Thank you, Sion." Sion watched her intently. Then she suddenly put down her glass and asked, "You look like you have something you want to say." Sion, after a moment of silence, Sion said, "But while you were still unconscious, I spoke with Daniel." Layla immediately cut in. "No, I won't do that. I'll just die instead." "How could you just die? I won't let that happen. Didn't you hear me? That's the same as saying I have to take someone else's life just to save my own, isn't it? No matter how much I want to live, I don't like that one bit." Sion said firmly, "Either way, you are not going to die. You will not die, and no lives will be taken here." "Sion, don't tell me you're going to use your own life." "Layla!" Layla screamed, "I don't want it. I can't. Layla, I'm different from a normal person. Right now I have 2 lives. There must be a reason for that, right? What if in the future I have to risk my life again? Should I just let myself die for nothing then? That's what this is for. What are you saying? Either way, I'm alive right now so that I can protect you. What's that supposed to mean?" Originally, I had planned to die right after finishing what I needed to do, once the demonic soul was sealed and Hindaga was gone from this world. "If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be alive right now," Layla exclaimed in shock. "That's a lie." Sion assured her it was true, kneeling to beg her, "If you want me to live, then you have to live too. Please." Her tears started to fall. "I know. It's cheesy, if I listen to you. It feels like protecting you is something I'm obligated to do. That's how you feel, right?" "That's right. What does protecting me even mean to you? Tell me the reason. If you tell me the truth, I'll accept your life." Sion hesitated, because Layla asked expectantly, "What?" "Because I killed you, so no matter what I do, don't ever think that you owe me. Because I'm the one who is in your debt. Get some rest. We'll leave the day after tomorrow." And I spent the entire day thinking. After Sion left, I finally understood everything. The fact that he had to die countless times at the hands of those villains and fight against demons. How painful and agonizing must all of that have been. To have just completed his revenge, only to open his eyes and be back at the very beginning. That feeling, it was all because of me. I didn't know anything, and every time Sion hated me, I just felt like I was being treated unfairly, but he was the one who was truly wronged. He must have endured so much pain, suffering, and countless hardships. Yet why did he say that he was the one in my debt? How could he say that he is only alive now to protect me? I don't know if it's because I slept for 4 straight days, but now I can't seem to get a wink of sleep. Is it because I've been thinking about Sion all day? I miss him too, and before I knew it, I was standing in front of Sion's room. She thought in shock, "What the hell is going on? I have to get back quickly," but suddenly the door opened and Sion asked, "What's wrong, Layla?" Flustered, she replied, Nothing's wrong at all. It's just, can you go outside for a bit? If it's about taking your life then." Layla interrupted and boldly asked, "Sion, do you like me? Or no, how much do you like me?" Sion blushed and asked, "Why all of a sudden? I feel like this is really strange. You worrying about me, reacting to everything I do, caring about me so excessively. And then there's the fact that you won't come near me? You tried to like me, but you couldn't, right? Because the blood of Hindaga is still flowing through my veins, you find it disgusting to get close. Is that it? The look on your face isn't telling me anything. Fine, I get it now. Why did you have to confuse me so much? Why is saving me treated like saving the world and getting revenge for your entire family? Are you that bothered by the fact that you killed me, and you still can't be a little greedy for my sake? How much have you suffered because of me?" Sion replied. "Even that was because I killed you. What if I say I really don't care? What if I pretend that I don't owe you anything?" Sion ran a hand through his hair and said, "That doesn't mean what happened will just disappear." Suddenly, Layla placed both of her hands on his face, and suddenly pressed a kiss to his lips. Sion's face flushed bright red, the kiss sweet and deep. A moment later, she pulled away and asked, "So what if I say that I like you?" Sion's hands clenched, trembling. "Layla, it's not that you like me." "What did you say?" "It's just an illusion." "No, it's not." But Sion firmly insisted, "Yes, it is." "What do you mean, yes, it is?" He explained, "It's clearly just an illusion. You're mistaking your desire to live for romantic feelings." "What are you talking about? What in the world has been going on between us, huh? Because you've been the one who could save my life all this time, huh? So are you saying that just because of my survival instincts, I'm deluding myself into thinking I like the person who holds my life in his hands?" She yelled, "Don't be so ridiculous. Do I look like a fool to you? The person who can save my life, huh? If that's the case, then Kyojin X could have saved me too. But I absolutely hate Kyojin X. It's you I like. Do you get it? I'm telling you, I like you, and only you." Sion took her hand and said, "Nothing can change. That doesn't mean what happened will just go away. Because right now you're under the delusion that you like me. You're able to say it doesn't matter, but that's only for now. You mean I'm just temporarily mistaken. And when I get over this moment, my mind will change. The fact that you killed me will pop into my head from time to time, and I'll eventually avoid you. Is that it? Yes, that's right. You'll just be afraid of me, like you were in the past." Layla pursed her lips tightly, frowning as she said, "So in the end, you're just a coward. You're saying you're scared, aren't you? Scared that I say I like you now, but will push me away later? It's not like that. It's just that I'm out of your reach. You can't reach me either, can you? To you, I'm just a murderer. How can you even say that? It's the truth." Layla thought to herself, even if he is a murderer who killed me, the fact that he saved me is also an undeniable truth, even at the cost of his own life. Look at this fool, so stubborn and scared, what an idiot. With that thought, she said, "All right, I'm going to follow my heart." With that, she pulled him closer and planted another surprise kiss on his lips. Sion trembled as he pushed her away. "Layla, again?" She stuck her tongue out playfully and said, "I'm going to follow my heart, and I'm going to do what I want. I'm off, sleep tight." Then the door slammed shut. She wondered, what do I do now? I've gone and done it. Sion, you're not planning on avoiding me now, are you? Inside the room, Sion's face was still bright red. 2 days later, we set off for the land of the Moon Tribe. Following Daniel's guidance, I thought Sion was riding his horse just to avoid me, claiming he was patrolling the border, but luckily, that wasn't the case. I was so relieved. On our journey to the Moon Tribe's village, whenever no one was around, I would kiss Sion. Once you've already crossed the line, what's there to be afraid of anymore? Every time, Sion would wear a stiff and flustered, sometimes even bewildered, expression, but he never avoided me, not even once. And that alone was enough for me. Even if the Moon Tribe couldn't save me and I ended up dying for nothing, I felt like I wouldn't have any regrets. 2 months passed just like that. We finally arrived at the place called the Moon Tribe's village. "This is where the Moon Tribe lives?" "Yes, that's right," Sion said. "I hope you're not leading us somewhere strange." Daniel laughed. "I wouldn't dare lie to a hero. It just looks like a snowy mountain, but there's a way to open the entrance. That tree over there, if you chop it down once, the hidden door will." Before he could finish, Sion had already sliced the massive tree trunk in half. "So, is this it?" A stunned Daniel replied, Yes. It seems there's nothing more for me to say." Layla asked, "What happens when you cut down that tree?" Daniel explained that the door to the village would open over there. As soon as he spoke, a magic portal appeared in front of them. Daniel gestured invitingly. "All right, let's go." "Okay," Layla replied. Just like that, they all stepped into the magic portal. "Ah, it's amazing how everything can be connected like this. See, that's because our tribe doesn't like to interact with people. But you're not like that at all, Daniel. I'm a little bit of an exception." "Ah, but that doesn't mean we don't welcome outsiders. So don't worry too much." "Really? Of course, you're all here now. You can confirm it for yourselves." Daniel walked over to knock on the door, then turned and said, It'll open soon. Layla thought to herself. Magical things just kept happening one after another as we walked along the path and a village slowly appeared. Can I really survive? At that moment, the door slowly opened, revealing someone, which surprised Layla. Huh, those crimson eyes. I feel like I've seen them somewhere before. Suddenly, Sion grabbed her hand and pulled her behind him defensively. A confused Layla cried out, "Sion!" His eyes were filled with killing intent as he questioned Daniel, "What's your connection to the witch?" Her face is identical to that of the witch, Alice. At that moment, Layla realized it too. Ah, now I remember. Dark red hair and dark red eyes. She was like a withered rose personified. The witch, Asseles. Sion said her name was Asseles. Oh, so you've all met Asseles. Explain why I can sense a witch's aura surrounding you. If you don't answer honestly, I'll draw my sword. You have pretty sharp senses. Asseles and I are sisters. And we're twins. Don't tell me Asseles is dead? Sion said she failed. Layla thought, Sion, are you being a little too honest? This is this woman's village. Which means it could also be that witch's village. If the entire Moon Clan attacks us, can Sion handle everything? Even if I die, Sion will be in danger. Layla's gaze shifted to the girl in front of her. Is this going to be okay? She said. Come on in, I'll take you to meet the chief. As we passed through the gate, the village where the Moon Clan lives came into view, and compared to the long journey we took to get here, it was a rather simple and peaceful village. The people of the Moon Clan had deep red eyes, and they all stared at us with great curiosity. I apologize if this makes you uncomfortable. We have very little interaction with the outside world, so everyone is extremely curious about what's going on. Most of our clan are born and die right here. Daniel is a rare exception. I don't care. I'd rather hear about that witch. I thought that after losing her name, she would live a quiet life. A shame? Losing her name? Asseles had lost her Moon Clan name and was exiled from the village about 100 years ago. Layla asked in surprise, 100 years? The lifespan of our clan is about 200 years, but when we met her, she claimed that she doesn't age. That's not entirely true, Sion. If we don't use our powers, our clan members don't experience aging until the end of their lifespan. It refers to the special abilities that each member of the Moon Clan possesses, although they come in many different types. When you met Asseles, about how old did she seem? Layla replied. She was around my age, in her 20s. It seems she hasn't used much of her power for the past 100 years. If you use your power, can you age on the spot? If you use more than a certain amount, in severe cases, a young person can age rapidly. I see. Swoosh. Daniel chimed in. Just so you know, I learned and used common magic, not my clan's power. Is that even possible? No. Normally it wouldn't be feasible. Daniel boasted confidently. I'm a genius. So of course I'm not aging. I'm just telling you because I thought you might be curious. Layla thought, until the moment Asseles fled, her appearance didn't change at all, which means she didn't use any of her power during her entire fight with Sion? She held back her power even to the point of getting injured? What could be the reason? Is it because her power isn't useful in a fight? If not, then there's only one other thing she could be using it for. Finally, she asked, if you have the ability to change your appearance, can you hide the signs of aging? That's not impossible, changing her appearance, controlling people, even after using her shield ability, but she still doesn't age. Is she hiding a true power that requires an immense amount of strength? That's certainly a possibility, but we don't know what other kind of power she's hiding, because unless she reveals it herself, no one can know. Layla asked curiously, why was she kicked out of the village? Well, she killed people who had no connection to the Moon Clan. In a single night, more than 50 lives. Do you know why she did it? She never said, even at the very end. Anyway, after committing the crime, Asseles fled the village on her own, which is the same as being exiled. Despite that, she still talks as if she's one of the clan. So, could it be Asseles? If the clan finds out her true identity has been exposed, then before that person can even rule the world, she'll be executed by 1,000 cuts. The clan and that person. Do you have any guesses? Does anyone in the Moon Clan know about those two? I don't know of anyone. And it's likely no one in the clan knows either, especially about that person, because the Moon Clan serves no one, not even the gods. When you go inside, the chief will already be there. Please, come in. They both entered. A voice rang out, welcome. It's been a while since we've had visitors. My name is Iodo, chief of the Moon Clan. I'm Sion Ashit. I'm Layla Ashit. He immediately recognized the name, Sion Ashit? You don't mean the hero? That's right. It's an honor to meet you. Please, have a seat while I prepare some tea, Layla thought worriedly. I think this is the first time I've seen an old person in this village. What kind of ability does he have that he's used it so much? What if they say they can't help anymore because it's related to saving my life? Am I supposed to just die like this? I hope not, the chief said. This is a tea my family is fond of, but I'm not sure if you two will like it. Ah, thank you. I appreciate your hospitality, but unfortunately, we can't just sit here and drink tea. Layla called out, Sion. The chief calmly raised his teacup. I understand. The time stone is preparing to abandon its host body. Were you notified in advance? Haha, not at all. Because my innate ability is detection. I have spent my entire life searching for the time stone, and that is why I've grown so old. I knew the reason you came here the moment I saw this lady. One of my people must have brought the lady here. There is a way for her to survive. Is that true? Can I really live? Sion said at once. I'm willing to give up my second life, so I want to proceed as soon as possible. The ceremony can happen tomorrow. As you said, the situation is urgent, so let's hold the ceremony tomorrow. Sion placed his hand on hers. Thank goodness, Layla. Wiping away her tears, she replied. Thank you, Sion. The chief suddenly asked, but could you answer a question of mine? Of course. The time stone in the lady's possession is an artifact that was created and guarded by our clan, but one day it suddenly vanished. Our clan was well aware of the danger of the time stone, so we set out to find it immediately. As the one with the detection ability I mentioned earlier, I was assigned the mission. But even after searching the entire world, I couldn't find a trace of the time stone, and by the time I returned, I was an old man. Our clan thought it was impossible for the strictly managed time stone to suddenly disappear. I spent my entire youth searching, but I couldn't even find a single clue about the time stone. In the end, we concluded that it was divine intervention. Sion casually asked, isn't that jumping to conclusions? Divine intervention? How convenient. You can think that way, but I'd like you to answer my question, assuming there was divine intervention. So what's the question? Why would a divine being want to save Lady Ashit? Do you have any theories about that? The reason a god would want to save Layla? The chief replied, every action of a divine being has its meaning. Steal what belongs to mortals and hide it, only to beg to have it granted to you? No, now I finally realize what's right in front of my eyes. I suppose that could be it, because there must be a reason to save Lady Ashit, even if it means defying the natural order. Layla spoke up, Sion is the hero, and I am his precious person. Isn't that it, like a reward for saving the world? The chief said that was impossible. The gods aren't that merciful. How silly, Layla thought. We seem to be speaking quite poorly of the gods. The chief stroked his beard and said gently, the important thing to consider is the major changes that would occur if the lady weren't here. If it weren't for Layla, I would have chosen death for myself. So is this what the gods did to save me? You mean before the evil spirit appeared? No. Then the chief slapped his forehead. Perhaps the world's crisis hasn't ended yet. The world's crisis isn't over? Explain yourself. The gods believe this world still needs a hero, so they saved Lady Ashit's life. Because that way, the hero wouldn't choose death. Layla thought, if the gods really used me to save Sion, can I believe that at least I didn't cause him pain, that I became his reason to keep living? Sion asked, is there no way to know about this crisis in advance? That's right, unfortunately, those mysterious gods never give any warnings beforehand. It's only after it's all over that we can look back and say, ah, so that's what it was about. Please don't worry about it too much. It's possible the gods did nothing at all, and this is all just a coincidence. I'm only mentioning it as one possibility. I'll keep that in mind, I just hope it never comes to that. Anyway, has it gotten so late already? I will show you to your quarters. You must be tired, so please rest and recover from your journey. We leisurely looked around the village as we headed to our lodging, and during that time, Daniel was kidnapped by the children and disappeared. Apparently, it was because the children wanted to hear stories about the outside world. Mary said she was tired and went to bed early. Only the two of us, Sion and I, were left at the inn, so we wandered around the village for a little while longer, and then rested for a bit under a large tree. Hey, have you ever been here before? How did you know there was a tree this big in this spot? I just sensed an aura. An aura from the tree? Yes, you can sense the aura from a tree. What about other things? I can sense everything that's alive. Then you must be sensing all kinds of different auras right now, huh? That must be pretty inconvenient, right? What do you mean? I'm saying even when you want to truly rest without sensing anything, you can't do that? I've never thought about it that way, but something just occurred to me. Can you sense the auras of people? Like, can you distinguish between different people? To a certain extent, I can. Oh, so you can tell me apart from others, right? It's okay, just tell me the truth. You can distinguish me from everyone else, can't you? Sion looked down and answered, yes. I wish I had a power like that too. No matter where you were, I'd be able to find you, Sion said. You can, huh? What did you say? You mean even without that power, you could still find me? How so? It might be a bit unsettling. I won't be weirded out, so just tell me. Sion blushed and answered, I recognize the sound of your breath. I also recognize your footsteps when you return from a walk, and I can even distinguish your scent mixed with the fragrance of the grass. She said, to be able to tell things apart that clearly, you would have to be very close to be able to do that. So then you. She held Sion's face in her hands. Perhaps inside the Duke's mansion, you always knew which direction I was heading. Then, this entire way here, she suddenly kissed Sion's lips and continued, did you already know I was coming to you? Feeling this way? Sion avoided her gaze in a silent admission. That means you could have avoided me entirely, but you decided not to. Is that right? Sion, how could you possibly fall in love with me? With a Hindaga? Sion took her hand and said, even if you're a Hindaga, you're still Layla. Tears streamed down her happy face. You're not avoiding me this time, are you, Sion? You act so secretive, but you're an open book. Well, no, maybe you're just straightforward with me, right? Yeah, that's it. Sion is a straightforward person. That's why he can't ignore his feelings or his guilt. Just you wait, Sion. If I truly get to live on, I will make you throw away all the guilt that weighs so heavily on your heart. And just like that, the two of them shared a sweet kiss under the giant guardian tree. The next day, the tribe's chief said, before we begin the ritual, I have a few things to explain, and they are all important, so you must listen carefully and remember everything clearly. Sion and Layla answered in turn, understood, Yes, sir. This concerns what will happen during the ritual and afterward. As soon as the ritual begins, the Duchess will fall into a deep sleep. Once we have confirmed she is sound asleep, the first step will be to destroy the time stone located in her heart. The moment it loses its power, her heart will naturally stop beating. The hero's life force will be breathed into you, and the ritual will conclude upon its completion. Your heart will naturally fill the void left by the time stone, accepting the breath of life, and then restructure the heart, blood vessels, and related parts due to the immense energy consumption. So during this period, consciousness usually does not return. Then, Sion asked, how long will that period last? Consciousness will return after about 1 month, but it's best to spend another month recuperating after that. Layla wondered. I have something I'm curious about. Yes, please speak, my lady. What does it mean for the heart and blood vessels to be restructured? It means, as you've just heard, the heart and blood vessels flowing through your body, my lady, had their life force drained by the time stone, making them like an empty, expired vessel. When the new life force settles in, it will create a new vessel for itself to reside in. Ah, but that doesn't mean you will carry Duke Ashit's blood, so there's no need to worry about bearing an heir. Hearing this, both of them blushed. She thought to herself, that's not what I was curious about, but it's good information to have. Even as a Hindagas, Sion told me I was still Layla, but just the thought of the Hindagas blood still flowing in my body was disgusting. Now, I can truly cast away everything related to Hindagas. Do you have any other questions? No, I have no more questions. Then let us begin the ritual. Lady Ashit, please step onto the ceremonial bed and lie down, facing the sky. Duke Ashit, please hold the lady's hand to establish a physical connection. Are you ready? Layla replied. Yes. She worried inwardly, what if I never wake up? Or what if it's not 1 month, but several years before I regain consciousness? Maybe I should leave some last words for Sion before I go. What should I say? Even without me, you should live happily, and there are no good girls in this world, so don't meet anyone else but me, okay? I'm so pathetic and petty, even at the very end. Sion called Layla. He smiled and said, look at me. Unconsciously, a tear fell from her eye. Yeah, what last words am I thinking of? No matter what happens, I can't die. I have to come back for sure. Return to where Sion is waiting. I will come back, Sion. And I had a dream. For a very long time, a toddler, grinning from ear to ear, ran towards me. And I smiled too, opening my arms to embrace the child. Then I heard Sion's deep laughter from behind me. The child grew up so fast, and before long, she was taking a nap under a tree, her head resting on someone's lap. The person whose lap she was on was Sion, and she was dozing off, a half-read fairy tale book still in her hands. Time in the dream passed so quickly as the child grew, got married, and then had her own child. I too aged just as quickly, my hair turning silver until it became like the first snow of winter. And then, the final moment arrived, a peaceful end, just as I had once imagined long ago. Unlike what I had imagined back then, Sion was still by my side until the very end. I closed my eyes in peace and contentment, thinking I had fallen into an eternal slumber, but then the dream shattered. I opened my eyes to reality. At the exact moment, sunlight filtered through the thin curtains as my eyes adjusted to the brightness. A familiar voice echoed beside me. You're finally back, Layla. She answered with a faint smile on her lips. Yes, I'm back. Sion, who had once escaped the Grim Reaper's scythe, was still by my side just as before. They often say it's like being given a new life, and I couldn't agree more. It truly felt like being reborn, like a newborn fawn. Mary asked worriedly, are you sure you don't need my help? Layla replied excitedly, yeah, of course. Just lying around won't help me get better. It was the same for both Dolly and Elvin. I heard that you lose strength from lying down for too long, so you have to move around to regain it. Besides, my birthday party is coming up, so I need to regain my strength and stamina quickly. I used to get out of breath after just a short walk, but I feel fine now, so don't worry. Mary sighed in relief. What a relief. Speaking of the birthday banquet, I want to make it incredibly grand and dazzling this time. Layla asked in surprise. Huh? Why? Well, it's only natural. You haven't had a proper birthday celebration in ages. That's true, Layla thought to herself. My first birthday banquet was forced on me by the villain. They are all memories I'd rather not recall, and after that I became a fugitive, forced to live in hiding. Besides, you're starting a new life now, so it's a chance to celebrate that too. That's definitely worth celebrating, isn't it? Layla pondered again. If what Sir Idol said is true, then Hindaga's blood has now completely disappeared. Does that mean I've truly been born again? Mary whispered. Also, it's probably time to shut down those nasty rumors. Rumors? I heard people are saying that the Duchess has contracted a terminal illness and will pass away soon. Because of that, it seems the Duke has started receiving marriage proposals, saying it's fine for him to remarry. I get so furious just hearing about it. Layla facepalmed. Marriage proposals? The rumor about my terminal illness? Well, I can let that slide. I admit Sion is a very desirable marriage prospect. She grabbed her hair, but his wife isn't even dead yet. The funeral arrangements haven't even been made, and they're already sending marriage proposals? That's crossing the line. Mary, tell the head butler for me. This birthday banquet must be held on the grandest scale possible. Yes, Your Grace. Before the banquet, I will make a full recovery to show them all just how healthy I am. I will also do my utmost to decorate everything magnificently for you. We have to show them that there's no room for anyone to come between you two. But what if too many people see you, Your Grace, and end up falling for you? Exactly. I'm afraid the Duke will go crazy with jealousy, Layla asked blankly. Jealous of what? Mary stammered. Oh, it's nothing. Let's walk a little more before heading inside. Yes, ma'am. Afterwards, the night slowly passed, moonlight shining through the window. Bella lay in bed, tossing and turning, wide awake now. It looked like it was still pre-dawn, so she might as well take a little walk before breakfast. But it was still pitch black. I wonder if Sion is asleep. I sometimes see him training at the crack of dawn, but it's probably still too early now. Ha! I wonder if he's having a nice dream, now that I think about it. I had the most audacious dream when I was in a coma. Not only did I have a child, but I even dreamed of having grandchildren. I absolutely can't tell anyone about this. Suddenly, she startled and stopped dead in her tracks. Huh. I was clearly heading for the back garden. So why am I standing in front of Sion's bedroom? I'm starting to scare myself. I should just stop. He's been so busy making up for the few days he was away, it wouldn't be right to wake him. Once the sun is fully up, then. As she was thinking, a soft cough came from inside the room. Layla paused and thought to herself, huh? I think I just heard a faint groan. Did I mishear it? The groan came again, and Layla was certain she hadn't misheard. She immediately pushed the door open and rushed in, calling out as she ran, Sion, what's wrong? Are you in pain somewhere? He's unconscious, and he's burning up. Just wait a moment, Sion. I'll get Elvin right away. After Elvin finished his examination, he said, I'm truly sorry, but the cause of the fever is still unclear. For now, I will prescribe a fever reducer and have it sent over. I will continue to look through more documents. If anything changes, please call me immediately. I understand, Elvin. Layla looked at him with a worried face, hoping the fever reducer would work, but Mary said, but it probably won't be of any use, because he was just like this the last time. Layla asked curiously, what do you mean? The truth is, on the way back from the Moon Tribe's village, he got sick like this several times on the road. Each time it happened, I took him to a doctor in a nearby village to get him checked out, but nothing was effective. In the end, he even had to leave his horse behind and return to the mansion by carriage because he had no strength left. Tears fell from her eyes. While I was in a coma, he fell ill like this so many times. So how did he get better the other times? We could only wait. After 3 or 4 days of being fever-ridden, he would suddenly be completely fine. 3 to 4 days? I thought he wasn't getting sick anymore, so I assumed he had fully recovered. So why would he fall ill like this? But why? Mary said. Could this be a side effect of the ritual? To transfer a soul? Just like how you, my lady, were in a coma for a long time after that ritual. So, Layla's hand trembled as she thought, he sacrificed his own life to save me. So why are the consequences he has to bear so much heavier than mine? Mary, could you bring me a wet towel? Yes, I'll prepare it right away. Layla looked at him and said, be a little selfish, please. Do you have any idea how many times you've saved me? So. As she was saying this and wiping Sion's forehead, he suddenly opened his eyes. He grabbed her hand, making her gasp in surprise. Sion! Sion vaguely remembered. When he was little, he had a fever, and someone took care of him. So it was you, huh? At the time, I didn't understand what Sion meant, so I asked him to explain. Sion couldn't answer, he just quietly closed his eyes again. And 3 days later, once the fever had subsided, Sion opened his eyes once more. The moment he opened them, he spoke as if to defend himself. It's nothing. That's what he said. She replied, I didn't say anything. You just slept for a little while. You call that sleeping for just a little while? And you were drenched in a cold sweat on top of that? I wanted to give him a piece of my mind. But since he just woke up, I decided to hold it in. By the way, do you have a handkerchief? Any kind will do. Why not? It's the one you used to wipe my forehead when I was sick. You really remember things that happened while you were asleep? It's because I was awake for a little while then. She said Mary probably washed it and brought it back to my bedroom. I'll bring it to you next time I come by, okay? That's fine. What were you planning to do with that handkerchief anyway? I'm not going to use it. I just want to keep it with me. All right, I'll bring it to you right away. It's no big deal. But why would he want to keep my handkerchief? A few days later, I went into Sion's bedroom to place a vase of flowers and accidentally spilled some water. I opened a drawer to find something to clean it up with and happened to see the handkerchief that I had given him. He said he wouldn't use it and he was telling the truth. He was keeping it as carefully as if it were a treasure. If only I had embroidered something on it, like how the maid embroidered a handkerchief for Taylor the guard. Ah no, maybe it's actually better that I gave it to him plain and simple. Back at the Marquise's estate, he never let anyone get near his drawers. All of a sudden, I'm curious. I wonder what he used to hide in there. Leave the drawers to me, don't touch them, especially the top one. Huh? Thinking back on it now, I think that was right after I took care of Sion when he was sick. The handkerchief I used back then disappeared without a trace. I even asked Mary if she'd seen it. Then I remembered what happened a few days ago. When Sion first woke up, he said, so it was you back then. So that's what he meant by that. When Sion gets back, how should I ask him about it? Were you keeping a handkerchief in your nightstand back when you lived at the Marquise's estate? That handkerchief, was it the one I used to care for you when you were struck by an arrow on the brink of death? So he already knew. Someone had wiped his sweat for him back then. It's just that only now did he find out that person was me. How did he feel when he found out it was me? Was he happy? Did I become a little more precious in his eyes? As I was lost in thought, the door opened and a voice called out, "Layla." I turned to look at him, feeling flustered. There are so many things I want to ask him, but I can't seem to form the words. Where do I even start? Seeing me sitting there in a daze, he approached and asked, "Are you planning to sleep in here tonight?" "Huh? Can I sleep in here?" Sion immediately replied, "Of course you can't." I wondered to myself, why is he so compliant today? Could it be? I narrowed my eyes and asked, "Sion, you're sleeping in here too, right?" Seeing his blank, silent expression, I exclaimed, "Good grief. Are you trying to turn me into a room squatter?" "It's not squatting, I'm letting you have it. What's the difference?" I grabbed his hand and said, "Let's just sleep together. We're husband and wife, you know." Sion blushed and said, "But the reason we got married was—" Layla cut him off. I know, but so what? No matter the reason, the fact remains that we're husband and wife now. Isn't that right? So let's go to sleep. Let's sleep together." After a long silence, Sion intertwined his fingers with mine. "All right." From that day on, Sion and I continued to share a bed, but absolutely nothing happened. Except for the times I tried to inch closer, which only resulted in a startled Sion falling off the bed. Even though we haven't made any major progress, but my lifespan has been extended now, so I've decided not to rush things. I guess it's because my heart feels a lot lighter. And so, time flew by in the blink of an eye, and before I knew it, the day of my birthday banquet had arrived. Everyone gathered around her with well wishes. "Happy birthday, Duchess. You look absolutely beautiful today." When I first saw the Duchess, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. Living with the one you love, you must be so happy, right, Duchess? That's right, you're in the honeymoon phase. It's so admirable. I saw you two earlier, a true match made in heaven. Thank you all for your kind words and blessings. Since this is the first banquet hosted by the Ashit family, there may be some shortcomings, so I hope you will all be generous and overlook them. Oh my, what shortcomings. This party is as splendid as any held at the Imperial Palace. I can really feel the Duchess's refined sense of style. What a relief. If you all feel that way, then I'm much more at ease. Please, enjoy yourselves. I have to go greet a few other guests. Oh dear, of course. Even guests from the royal family are attending. How thoughtless of us. We're fine. Please go ahead, Duchess. Layla let out a quiet sigh. This is so hectic. Anyway, as long as I show them I'm doing well, no one will dare to gossip about things like divorce or remarriage anymore. Afterward, she went out to the balcony and sighed deeply, thinking, that lady's words just now keep ringing in my head. She said living with the one you love must be wonderful, right? Well, I am living with the man I love. But am I living in love with him? No, absolutely not. If we were really in love, there's no way we could share a bed and have nothing happen. Nothing's happening. Instead, we're both just getting more and more cautious. Is someone about to get eaten or something? She downed her glass of wine and slammed it down. Why does this have to be so difficult? It's obvious he likes me too, so why does it have to be so complicated? Is it really because of my face? Oh, so being pretty is a big deal? Is he trying to teach me the price of having a pretty face or something? Suddenly, a voice came from behind. Are you perhaps upset about something? Layla was surprised to recognize that voice. Count Donovan. Oh, you recognize me right away, do you? To be recognized by someone as beautiful as you is truly an honor. Meeting like this must be fate. If you have any troubles, I am willing to listen, Layla asked. And how did you get here? I just came in through the terrace door, but if you're asking about the banquet, I arrived in an old carriage. Doesn't that sound interesting? So, did you bring an invitation? The invitation wasn't addressed to me personally, but I acquired it through someone else. For a personage such as myself, Count Donovan, to not receive an invitation, there must have been some kind of mistake. I don't care how you got an invitation from someone else, but I must ask you to leave this place immediately. Who do you think you are, little miss, ordering me to stay or go? I was being polite because you're pretty. Do you have any idea who you're talking to? She thought to herself. Little miss? You're the one who has no idea who I am, acting so rudely. With that thought, she asked, you must have arrived late, right? It seems you haven't even met the Duke and Duchess yet? He approached and grabbed Layla's hand. You little brat, were you just being insolent to me? He threatened, throwing his wine glass to the ground. It seems a country bumpkin like you knows nothing about the power of the house of Count Donovan. If you don't apologize to me immediately for that insolent attitude, both you and your father will live to regret it. Pushed against the railing, Layla worried to herself. What do I do now? Should I scream to call for help? What if no one comes? Should I take the risk, grab onto him, and fall down together? I still have the bracelet the priest gave me. I'm scared, but I'm sure I won't get hurt. That's right. I might as well test the effectiveness of the bracelet while I'm at it. He threatened again. Now, say that one more time. What was it you just said? His breath was too close. It felt like insects were crawling from my wrist all over my body. It's just like back then, as if I've gone back to that time. My body is frozen. I have to scream, but my throat. Just then, someone grabbed his hand and violently threw it aside, sending him stumbling to the ground. Damn it, who dares? Before he could finish, Sion stomped hard on his filthy hand. Sion clenched his fists, questioning darkly, I don't recall sending you an invitation, so why are you here? And standing next to my wife, no less. The man called out, startled, Duke, a shit? Wait, hold on, your grace. I honestly had no idea. I saw the lady here was by herself, so I just assumed she was unmarried. Sion pressed down harder, making the man scream out, ah. A moment later, he lifted his foot and turned back toward Layla. I'm sorry I'm late. I should have gotten here sooner. You're not late at all. Thank you for coming. Sion, I want to go to our room and rest. Can you take me? Sion immediately swept her into his arms. Of course I'll take you back. She thought to herself, I guess I'm really tired from the shock. Sion, I'm just going to rest my eyes for a little while. Afterwards, Cecile asked, how's Layla? Is she all right? Yeah, she's resting now. She was panicking on top of being exhausted, so it's a relief. As soon as we get back, the first thing I'm going to do is pull every last one of our investments from the house of Count Donovan, that absolute psycho. Cecile hesitated. But hey, have you and Layla made any progress? Not a chance in hell. Cecile was pensive for a moment. Then she called my name. It's because of everyone that I'm okay again. Until a few years ago, every time the old memories came rushing back, I'd feel so much pain I wanted to die. And yet, I don't know when that pain finally vanished. All that's left is the memory. It's because I met you, met Layla, and met the Count. Meeting such kind people is the only reason I've become who I am today. But in the beginning, I felt so guilty. Did I deserve to escape that hell? Did I even have the right to? Sion, you're going through the same thing right now, aren't you? But Sion, who has the right to say we aren't allowed to heal? Our mothers? Our fathers? Cajun? Our brothers? Sandap? No, they would never want that for us. Cecile turned away. Right, they would never be like that. In the end, it was only me. I was the only one who resented my own happiness, my own peace of mind. So now I've given myself permission, not just to be okay, but to be truly happy. Sion, I hope that you can be happy too. I'll be going now. My little brother. After Cecile left, Sion went into the room. Sitting by Layla's bed, he thought to himself, Cecile, the reason I can't fully accept Layla isn't just because of guilt. It's because Layla shouldn't be by my side. Cecile, didn't you ask if I was just like you? But no, I'm not like you at all. I'm still living in hell. If one day Layla were to disappear, if there ever comes a time when she no longer needs me, then I could let go of this life at any moment without a second thought. Someone like me, in a place as dark and terrible as this hell, Layla shouldn't be dragged into it. She shouldn't fall down with me. I should have never let that happen. Yet in the end, I couldn't push her away. Truth be told, I only pretended to push her away, pretended to run, but every time I only backed away just enough for Layla to still catch up. Unconsciously, he spoke his thoughts aloud. I'm such a piece of trash. Suddenly, a voice rang out. One moment you say you're unworthy, and now you're calling yourself trash? Startled, Sion looked up to see that Layla was awake, and she approached him saying, Fine, let's say you're unworthy. Let's say you really are the piece of trash you claim to be. But so what? Do you think I'm only allowed to desire things I deserve? Sion, even if you want me so badly it drives you crazy, you make up every excuse to stay by my side, and you think that makes you trash? Sion, look, your heart is still beating. You're human. Even if you once sealed an evil god, even if you became a hero, in the end you're still a human. A human being who still desires things they shouldn't have. Layla, I already told you I'm fine, that you can be a little selfish, that I don't mind. Or are you still under the delusion that my feelings for you are just a fleeting crush? Sion immediately answered, No. Then what's the problem? Are you afraid, Layla? I'm afraid that if you say you want to leave, I won't be able to let you go. Afraid that I'll cling to you until the very end, dragging you down to stay in this hell with me. Ha, seriously, stop being so delusional, Sion. I swear on everything I have left, if one day I ever say that I want to leave you, you would rather kill yourself than hold me back. So stop tormenting yourself with these strange delusions anymore. Just do what you really want. Sion looked up at her without saying another word. Her face was also flushed red, and after they stared intently at each other for a moment, Sion decided to raise his hand. He pulled her face closer, and suddenly placed a passionate kiss on her lips. And just like that, the two of them spent a long, romantic night together. The scene changes to the witch, Alesis. This is a story from a long, long time ago, from before I had even grown up. Back then, I used to visit a village of ordinary people, far from the lands where my own kind lived. Looking back now, that village was nothing more than a large cage to me, a place where humans who looked vaguely like me all lived together. You're so beautiful. Among those children, Eli was the only human I found myself fond of, and we quickly became friends. Who says only equals can be friends? Then Eli asked, When will you come again? But on the days I'm in pain, I can't go outside. Why are you in pain? They just say I have an illness. But it doesn't hurt every day, so it's okay. On the days you come, I'll try my best not to be in pain, so please let me know when you'll visit again. I'm not sure either, but I'll be back again soon. Eli smiled and said, Hee hee, okay. Achilles thought to himself, I've grown to like Eli, perhaps very much. Eli was from a small species, with a life far shorter than my own. I just hoped she wouldn't leave too soon. And one day, Eli ran up to me, calling, Asin, Asin, I have wonderful news. What is it? I'm not in pain anymore. The village chief gave my mother some medicine. Really? So you'll never be in pain again? As long as I don't catch another illness? I guess so? Achilles smiled and said, That's great, congratulations. Eli rushed forward to hug Achilles. Thank you, Asin. You truly are my most precious friend. Achilles asked in surprise, What's this? Eli was filled with joy now that she was cured, and every time I saw that smile, my heart would also fill with joy. But that happiness didn't last long. A greater misfortune befell Eli's life. Passing by my friend's house engulfed in flames, I saw the villagers dragging Eli away as if they were about to kill her. Those wretched cowards, how dare they? Eli's eyes met mine, and even in that chaos, she shook her head violently, as if telling me to run away. After that, I don't remember much. I think I completely lost my mind. Then there were loud screams, the overwhelming stench of blood, and the sight of those cowards scattering when I finally came to my senses. In the middle of the village littered with piles of bodies, I was grabbing Eli's wrist and running without a single thought. We finally ran to a cliff overlooking the entire village, where Eli stood precariously on the edge and recounted what had happened. When her mother went to the market and didn't return for a long time, Eli went to look for her, and what she saw was her mother on a pyre in the middle of a crowd. Eli pushed through the crowd and suddenly saw someone she knew shout, "It was that woman who seduced me. She got expensive medicine that she couldn't possibly afford. She must have used deceitful magic. She must be a witch." The village chief had come to her mother the night before and asked, "Did you really think that medicine was free?" He demanded to sleep with her, but she threw him out. I wanted to scream that it was all a lie, but my body was frozen. I couldn't move. When I finally managed to utter a word, I met my mother's gaze. My mother looked at me. "Run, I love you," she managed to mouth with a whisper. From that moment, I ran without stopping, and when I came to, I was back home. I was trembling foolishly inside the house when the villagers suddenly burst in. "What happened after that is what you saw, Aeson," Achilles reassured her. "It's all right now. I've killed them all, so now." But Eli interrupted, "No, it's not all right, Aeson. My mother died because of me. Perhaps it was destined to be this way. That's why I took revenge, Eli. Didn't I tell you I killed them all? Aeson, I'm curious about something. What is it? Will there ever be a day when the gods judge humans instead of humans judging themselves? If the gods were to judge the sins of mankind, my mother wouldn't have died, and neither would the villagers." Asil broke into a sweat as she called out to Eli. She continued, "Without you, I would have been executed just like my mother, and branded the child of a witch." Eli turned back with a smile and said, "Thank you, Asil," then threw herself off the cliff. Stunned, Asil nearly collapsed as she screamed Eli's name. I sank to the ground, trying to process what just happened. But it wasn't easy. Why did Eli speak about the deaths of those wretched people with such pity? They framed Eli's mother and even killed her. Shouldn't she have been glad they were dead? Unable to find an answer, I had to leave my village, exiled for the crime of causing a massacre. I traveled to every temple, searching for a way to create the world Eli once spoke of, a place where gods would judge humankind. And there, I met a man from my own tribe who was in a similar situation, a man who recognized me at first sight. He was living with others who had also been cast out of our tribe. He said his goal was to awaken the evil god and change the world. He was exiled from the tribe for his vicious crimes, so he wanted the gods to establish a new order where humanity itself would be judged. All preparations are complete. Oh ho, to think I would finally live to see this moment. Aeschylus, you're ready as well, aren't you? Your blessed ability will be of great help to him in ruling the world. Be grateful to become the vessel that contains his power." Aeschylus nodded and slowly closed her eyes. "Then, let us begin the ritual. I trust everyone will fulfill their duties at their respective positions." The mages raised their hands, focusing their energy. Aeschylus was surrounded by numerous mages. A bright light began to flash, and a magic circle appeared. Then, an incredibly powerful surge of energy knocked all the mages back, sending them into fits of coughing. Around Aeschylus, some of the mages grew wrinkled and shriveled, while others collapsed, unconscious. Just then, the evil god appeared, its voice booming. "What have you done to me?" Aeschylus replied. "I summoned you to offer a pact." "A pact? Right now, you are in a state of temporary freedom. But if you had a body to settle into, your soul would not be sealed again, and you could enjoy true freedom. Offering me freedom through a pact? Don't waste my time with such nonsense, you lowly mortal. Just spit out what you want. The terms of the pact are simple. It's a condition that will allow you to enjoy your freedom and become the ruler of this world at your leisure, ruling over all humankind. As long as you follow this one condition, this body will be your vessel forever." The evil god cackled with delight. "You've truly done something amusing, you lowly creature. Very well, I shall take that insignificant body," Aeschylus thought to herself. "Will the day finally come when gods, not men, judge humanity?" A tear streamed down Aeschylus's face. "It's finally here, this very moment. But that's only if you consider an evil god to be a god too, Eli." After that, the voices of the high ministers rang out. "Your Majesty, get away from that woman." It was a scene of carnage, the floor drenched in a horrifying crimson. The emperor asked, "Does anyone else object?" "No one? It seems we're all in agreement then. Now, what should I do next?" said the evil god inhabiting Aeschylus' body. "I want a war, a great and glorious war of conquest." At Duke Ashit's estate, a man on horseback rushed in begging for help. "Please help me, the king has started acting strangely." Sion asked, "What's wrong with the king over a single woman?" "A woman? She's someone with no known name or background. She approached the king, seducing him while also murdering his soldiers. After meeting privately with that woman, the king appointed her as his advisor. Since then, His Majesty has been making insane plans, like waging a war of conquest. All the officials who opposed it were killed by that woman." Layla asked in surprise, "An outsider seduced soldiers in the palace?" And His Majesty let a woman he knows nothing about become his advisor? At first, I thought His Majesty was just listening to her to pass the time. But watching from the sidelines, it seems like he's been hypnotized or manipulated. Otherwise, there's no way he could remain so unfazed as his officials were killed one after another. Does that woman have crimson hair and eyes? No, her hair is crimson, but her eye color is different. It's a color that doesn't seem human. Layla, you're thinking of that woman too, aren't you? Henry said the same thing when he was bewitched by her, that it felt like he was actually hypnotized. But if her eye color is different, then it's probably not her. Duke Ashit, no, our hero, please help us with this. He knelt and begged, please, just one more time, save this country. Are you asking Sion, no, the Duke, to get rid of that woman? I feel terrible asking someone who already saved the world, but if that woman isn't stopped, war will likely break out across all 6 lands. Layla asked Sion, what do you think? Sion replied, I will make a decision by tomorrow morning. That night, Layla, it seems, I already know, of course you're gonna go, right? If it weren't for me, you all would have probably left immediately. I'm sorry for leaving you all alone. It's okay. Honestly, a war breaking out would be much worse. But if you still feel guilty, then promise me one thing. She held up her pinky. You have to come back. You absolutely cannot leave me. Sion looked at her with a tender smile and linked his pinky with hers. I swear, if I ever leave you, it would only be to protect you. Then I guess you won't be leaving me at all. No matter how long you're gone, don't forget my face. My memory is excellent. It's been that way since I was a child. I've never forgotten anything I've seen or experienced. Layla thought in surprise. That ability for him. Suddenly, he kissed her on the forehead and said, it's a blessing, because I can remember everything about you, including the way you look right at this moment, which I will remember until my dying day. She whispered, moved, Sion. Then, the two of them shared a sweet kiss and spent a passionate night together. Early the next morning, Sion set off for the royal palace with Count Wayner, the man who had come for help. The moment Sion left, a sense of unease began to fill my heart. The worry, what if Sion gets hurt or something terrible happens, and kept creeping into my thoughts. I tried my best to suppress the worries that were threatening to overwhelm me. Taylor reassured me, you don't need to worry, my lady. Thank you, Sir Taylor. Sion is the one who sealed the evil god. Who could possibly harm him? No matter how powerful the woman causing chaos in the royal capital is, she can't compare to a being born once every 1,000 years to save the world. I'm sure of it. More than 10 days have passed, and I've been shouldering Sion's duties at the ducal estate, just living day by day. And then, some unexpected guests arrived. My lady, there are visitors from the Holy Temple. Yes, I'll be right out. Please show them to the drawing room. But when I turned, I saw they had already entered. Wynnum said in a fluster, my apologies, my lady. They said they needed to see you immediately. Duchess, this is an urgent matter, so we could not wait. Please forgive us. It's quite all right. High Priest, Father Holly, it has been a while. But this urgent matter you speak of is... Layla jumped as soon as she heard the answer. The demon god's seal has been broken. What? What did you say? How could a sealed demon god possibly escape? Doesn't the demon god only awaken once every 1,000 years? So it shouldn't be able to awaken for another 1,000 years, right? That should be the case, but it seems someone intentionally broke the seal. Is that even possible? When we inspected the seal, we found it wasn't completely broken, only a part of it. Someone has stolen the demon god's soul. We speculate that they likely prepared a vessel to house the soul before making their move. A vessel to house the soul? Could it be? Seeing her expression, the high priest asked, have you figured something out, Duchess? Sion went to the royal palace in secret because a woman with strange powers appeared. She's manipulating the king and trying to start a war. I heard she's so powerful that the soldiers can't stop her, and she also has the ability to hypnotize people. So there's a high chance that woman is the demon god. If the palace soldiers can't stand against her, then she must be a supernatural being. So are you saying Sion has to fight the demon god again? You must have brought some kind of solution, right? To save me, Sion doesn't have much of his life force left to sacrifice. The high priest said, our only hope is that the demon god residing in a human body will be weaker than in its true form. How can that be? Suddenly a voice announced, my lady, there are more visitors. It is Sir Daniel and the chief of the Moon Clan. She immediately said, let them in. Daniel entered and said cheerfully, oh, greetings, Duchess. I came here at the chief's urgent summons. He said there was something he needed to tell you. It seems I have arrived too late. A moment later, Layla said, holding a teacup with trembling hands, so, if we combine what the priests and the chief have said, the priests say that because the demon god's seal was partially broken, they came looking for Sion, and Chief Ido came to warn us about the prophetic dreams. In those prophetic dreams, Sion fought the demon god and died. Ido replied, that is correct. The child who saw the prophetic dream said they saw Duke Ashit die, and the demon god ruling over the world. Layla asked, how accurate are these prophetic dreams? Daniel explained, if nothing is done, then everything will happen exactly as foreseen. That is one of the abilities our clan possesses. Layla staggered and clutched her head. Ah, Mary quickly caught her lady. I'm all right, Mary. I just felt a little dizzy for a moment. Is there any way to save Sion? Whether it's from the Holy Temple or the Moon Tribe, any method will do. Please just tell us. The priest said, our role is simply to teach the hero how to use his power when he awakens. But as for sealing the evil god, we cannot interfere. We have repaired the broken sealing device, but beyond that, Idu continued. Our tribe also has no method to seal the evil god. But as I've said before, the prophetic dream that our tribe sees only shows the future if nothing is done. It exists so that we can change that future that has been set. Do you mean the future where Sion dies can be changed? That's right. It's just that you must find the method yourselves. Sir Ido, that prophetic dream didn't just foretell Sion's death. It also foretold the evil god ruling the world, didn't it? Yes, so that means if we just let things be, that horrifying event will happen, right? Perhaps so. Layla frowned. As I thought, that's the only way, Sir Ido. Please help me. Come with me to the royal palace. Later, at the royal palace, a gruesome, bloody scene unfolded, with bodies lying everywhere on the ground. As Sion walked in, the evil god spoke. This soul, this body. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Oh hero who makes me want to rip you apart. Sion replied, I had my suspicions, but it turns out it's true. You've been resurrected by borrowing the body of that woman? This body isn't as bad as I thought. Now I can use a few more cunning tricks. Too bad none of them will work on you. Did you use that trick to hypnotize the king? Yes, it's quite a convenient ability. They will follow any command I give, even if it's to commit suicide. All because she was afraid of getting old. She wasted this ability on such trivial things. This woman is quite amusing, don't you think? If she had used this ability properly, even if she couldn't take the whole kingdom, she could have at least ruled a small territory. Perhaps it's because I've never experienced growing old that I can say such things. Sion retorted, you talk too much. I guess bragging before a fight is another ability that woman left you with, huh? Who knows, perhaps it is. Hey hero, do you intend to fight me? You're asking the obvious. You sacrificed your life to seal me once before, didn't you? So what? Are you saying you want to die again right here and now? You surely don't have any more lives to spare, do you? That's none of your business. As he finished speaking, Sion reached for his sword, but she suddenly stepped forward to stop him. Descendant of the sky god, tell me, why must we fight? Sion asked, surprised. What? Have you ever wondered why you and I have to fight? I don't know what kind of nonsense you're talking about. It seems entering a human body has driven you insane, hasn't it? I appear and break the seal once every 1,000 years to destroy the world, and the descendant of the sky god appears right on cue to face me and stop the world's destruction. Then, through countless sunrises and sunsets, the two of us fight ceaselessly, until I am sealed away again, or the hero loses his life and can never awaken again. Until now, I have never questioned a thing. It was all so self-evident, it wasn't worth a single thought. But the human who offered me this body told me to become the ruler of the world, to reign over mankind. He said not to destroy this world, but to take control of it. Hearing that, a strange thought occurred to me. Why have I been so set on using this power just to destroy the world? In an empty world, where I've destroyed everything, what would I even do? That's right, hero. You were right. It must be because I'm in a human body that I'm having these insane thoughts. So answer me this. Isn't repeating the same meaningless battles for thousands of years insane? Sion knocked her hand away. I've wasted enough time patiently listening to you. Nonsense is still nonsense, no matter how you spin it. Get to the point. I don't have time to entertain your belated teenage angst. Let me ask, aren't you angry about your fate as a puppet of the heavens, forced to fight and risk your life for no reason at all? I don't want to fight you, hero. We're the only ones who can possibly understand each other. If I don't destroy the world, then you'll have no reason to fight me anymore, right? Instead, let's rule this world together. You've seen it for yourself, what the so-called noblest man in this country is really like. Don't you find it hilarious that a man like that rules this country? I even heard he granted you a title. Despite not even understanding what you are, Sion said. I have a question too. Ask anything you want. The many dead I saw on my way here, was that your doing? Yes. With your ability to hypnotize them, why did you choose to kill them? Is there a limit to your power? You're asking a strange question. Would you use a sword to kill an insect? Just as you wouldn't draw your sword for a pesky insect, I don't need to waste my powers on such trivial matters. It's quieter when they're dead. As I thought, you haven't changed one bit. You say I haven't changed, but I already told you I won't destroy the world, and yet this is your response. You asked if I was angry about being a puppet for the heavens, forced to fight, correct? Yes. On the contrary, it was a good thing for me. After I sealed you, my power didn't vanish. In my past life, I used it to get my revenge. And in this life, I can protect the people I care about. All this incomprehensible talk of past and present lives, does this mean you insist on fighting me? Sion answered firmly. That's right. You may see humans as insects, but I cannot. Because the person I hate the most and the person I love the most are both human. So foolish. Even when you know you're going to die? If that's your wish, then I'll gladly tear you to shreds. Sion replied, I don't care, as long as I can seal you away. And with that, the two of them clashed. The sounds of clashing metal and thunderous explosions echoed from their incredibly fierce battle. The scene shifts to Layla's convoy, which was on the move when Taylor suddenly halted. He raised his hand to call out to the man ahead of him, Count Wagner. Why are you here? Layla, the Duchess, also got down and called out to Count Wagner. Since this is important, I will get straight to the point. Your grace should not go near the capital. I know, that woman is an evil god. How could I not? That does not matter. Anyway, most of the people in the capital have already been evacuated. I only just came out after finishing everyone's evacuation. Your Grace. Your Grace should also, Layla interrupted, saying, It is all right, I am going to the capital, and as for you, Count, you should go take refuge. Your Grace, I understand how you feel, but the battle taking place right now is not a war for humans. No matter who comes, they will not be of any help, Layla said. I will not get in the way. There are people in the carriage who can help Sion. That is why I must go. People who can help? Layla explained that they are priests who serve the heavenly god. There is also a mage and the leader of a mysterious tribe. The Count turned to Taylor for confirmation. Is what her Grace said true? Yes. Sion has probably been fighting for some time now. Do you have a general idea of the situation? Like how it is going? The Count replied wearily. It is already the 4th day. It seems the situation is not very promising. Thank you. There is no more time to hesitate. I am going now. Please take care, Your Grace. Layla thought to herself. Sion, wait for me, just a little longer. Looking at Sion leaning against the wall, she laughed and asked, still planning to struggle until the very end, Oh, mighty hero? Sion stood up and replied, You look like you have reached your limit too. Why do you not just give up and obediently accept the seal? Stop bluffing. You know full well that even if you risk your life, your chances are 50-50 at best for sealing me, right? Even after being influenced by humankind. I still cannot understand if a mission arbitrarily handed down by a god is really that important, huh? Could it be because this body was never that of an ordinary person to begin with? You talk too much. Finishing his words, Sion swung his sword at her. I have never once given a damn about that so-called mission. From the moment I awoke in the angel's sanctuary, I decided to fight for Cecile, for the vengeance I had to exact. Fortunately, I am only saving this world because Cecile is still alive, and also to eliminate Hindaga, that shameless creature that still exists. If I were truly a good person who obediently followed that mission to save the world, then I would not have slaughtered every living soul in the city of Hindaga. I also would not have given Layla the life that the angel granted me for whatever unknown purpose. But I used that life, which might have been needed to save the world, to save Layla instead. Because to me, saving the Layla right in front of me was my priority. It was far more important than preparing for an uncertain future. It is the same even now. It does not matter if the evil god destroys this world, or if she brazenly rules the kingdom as she pleases. I do not possess such a righteous spirit that I would sacrifice my life to stop it. It is just that in a world ruled by her, Layla would not be able to smile. I am thinking of that foolish and kind girl, the one who could even love the enemy that killed her over and over. She would surely think the world fell to ruin because she took my life. But if I can protect this kingdom, if I can save this entire world, maybe she'll smile for me one more time. At that moment, the saint's sword pierced through the evil god, and at the same time, its claws pierced through his body. Even if I have to die, I suppose I should leave the rest to the gods now. I don't know if I'll be able to seal her first, or if my death will come first. Layla, I want to hear your voice. Suddenly a voice echoed in his ear. Sion, he said. Don't call my name with such a worried voice. I wish you'd call me with your usual gentle voice. No, if this is just an illusion, I'd rather feel Layla's warmth. Just then, Layla, with tears streaming down her face, called out, Sion. Sion weakly replied, Layla, and seeing this scene, the high priest and everyone else could only cry out, Oh my gods, your grace. Sion looked at Layla and said, It's dangerous, why did you come here, you fool? My heart's been pierced, you know. I'll stop the bleeding right away, just hang on a little longer, just a little. It doesn't hurt that much, and it's not the first time. Layla looked at him. She thought to herself, I used to think I was lucky that I couldn't remember the moment I died. If I had to remember all of that pain, I'm sure I would have gone mad. However, while I was forgetting that pain, and turning back time over and over, it was Sion who fought the evil god for my sake, going through life and death, and chose death himself to save me, enduring all the suffering, remembering everything, and was ready to face the pain that was to come. So how could I? Sion raised his hand to wipe away her tears and said with a smile, Don't cry, Layla. Even at a moment like this, you're still worried about me? Sion called, Taylor. Yes, your grace. If, after I'm dead, the evil god awakens once more, take Layla and hide. What in the world are you saying, Sion? Because I'm so weak, even if the seal fails. She won't be able to move for some time, so use that chance to escape. She shouted, You promised you would protect me. You were going to seal the evil god and be with me for the rest of our lives. He took her hand. Layla, I'm sorry I couldn't keep my promise. And I love you. As he finished speaking, his hand fell, leaving Layla stunned. She screamed, trembling, Sion, but her words were met with a heartbreaking silence. Taylor tried to comfort her. First, we should go back. It's still raining. We can't just leave Sion here. That's right, my lady. A hero's soul will be taken care of by the angels. Wait, Priest Holy spoke up. The high priest immediately asked, What's wrong? Holy replied, The evil god's power is growing stronger. The seal has failed. Hearing this, a panicked Taylor said, We have to escape now. My lady, hurry. But Layla pushed his hand away. No, Sir Taylor. I will not run away. Why are you acting like this? Please don't give up. It's not like that. She went to the clan chief. Chief Idol, I have a favor to ask of you. Is that so? Is that what you wish to tell me, Duchess? Could it be? Yes, that's right. The life that I received from Sion, I wish to return it. The chief frowned, moved, and called out, "My lady!" Taylor rushed to stop her. Don't say such ridiculous things. If Sion came back to life, do you think he would be happy? You, of all people, should know that best. Layla cut him off. That life was Sion's from the start. I can't possibly take it. I was just being far too greedy. The chief said, "I'm sorry, but I cannot do that." Why? When the Duchess was saved, no one had to die. But now, if we save the Duke, the Duchess will lose her life. Even if the life would return to its rightful owner, we cannot kill someone who is still alive. The priest and the high priest spoke one after another. We feel the same way. The hero and the angel would certainly not want such a choice. Let's go to the sanctuary. We'll be safe there for now, thanks to the barrier. We have to survive first. Then we can figure out what comes next, Layla murmured. What comes next? Huh? What about all the people who will be hurt or die before what comes next even arrives? Will the later the high priest mentioned ever really come? No. Is there truly no way to stop that vicious evil god? Please be honest. Don't hide anything from me. Even if there is no other way, the Duchess must not be sacrificed. Let it be me, a mere servant of the gods. No, high priest, I must be the one to do it. I am the hero's wife. The world my husband saved is in danger once again. And even though there is a clear solution, I cannot turn my back on it just to save my own life. I don't want to pass this role on to anyone else. So please, don't anyone try to stop me. Hearing Layla's determined words, everyone felt helpless. At that very moment, the evil god's seal was beginning to break. If we delay any longer, there will truly be nothing we can do. Please, help me, idol. Are you certain you won't regret this? Yes, please do it quickly. Very well. Then, Duchess, please place your hand on mine. Suddenly, Layla's eyes widened in astonishment. A flash of light erupted from her body, surprising everyone. The high priest said, That light just now was an angel's aura. Yes, then could it be? The priest added. It's best we confirm this. Duchess, forgive my impertinence, but would you please look at the back of your hand? Do you see anything there? The back of my hand? Huh, why is there? A pair of wings, the high priest exclaimed. Good heavens, I am witnessing a miracle granted by the divine. They have not yet abandoned humanity. Taylor asked, puzzled. What in the world are those wings? Idol explained. That is the mark of life, bestowed upon the hero by the angel when they face the evil god. In other words, the angel has granted the Duchess an extra life. No case like this has ever been recorded in the sacred texts. This can only be called a miracle. Idol, this means the angel is also watching over everything, so you need not worry any longer. Please, save Sion now. Idol replied, we can begin. She touched his hand and a brilliant light flared. Hurry back, Sion. Everyone is waiting, just waiting for you to come back to us. Just then, the evil god's voice boomed. You bothersome flies are trying your useless tricks again. I will slaughter every last one of you, smash you into 1,000, 1,000,000 pieces until not a single soul is left. Layla urged. Hurry, idol, he said. The ritual is complete, but as for when the Duke will awaken, so now we just need to protect him until Sion wakes up. Is that right? That's exactly right. But the evil god laughed boisterously and asked, and just how do you plan to do that? And simultaneously attacked them. Layla frantically called for the lady, and Daniel also yelled, Damn it, it's too late. At that moment, Layla raised her bracelet high. A blue light flashed. Everyone, save your strength. I will use this bracelet containing an angel's power to hold them off as long as possible. If Sion still hasn't woken up by then, I'm counting on all of you. Understood, my lady. How long do you think that cheap little bracelet of yours can last? You gnats should act like gnats. If you can't escape, then just lie down and die. Layla worried inwardly. Why hasn't he woken up yet? Is it because his body is too injured, or is he sleeping for a long time just like I once did? I thought that just returning Sion's soul would fix everything. I was so naive. Her bracelet shattered. She silently apologized to everyone. Just then, a sword suddenly slashed towards the evil god, followed by a hand landing on Layla's shoulder. She called out in surprise, Sion, I'm sorry I'm late, Layla. Just wait a little longer, okay? Taylor approached and called out, Duke. He told everyone they had worked hard, then took Taylor's sword. Let me borrow this for a bit. Yes, sir. Sion confidently promised that this time, he would be right back. After that, peace returned to the royal palace. Hearing that story always fills my heart with emotion. The statue of the hero and his lady, it always looks so beautiful. Layla sighed, thank heavens. Every time I look at it, I feel a little embarrassed. Why is that? I'm so proud that you and Dad saved the world, and that the story is passed down like this. Thank you for saying that, dear, but it wasn't something we could have done by ourselves. I know. That's why Count Egerton is always grumbling. He even said he wanted the statue's sword to be engraved with on loan from Taylor Egerton. Nay, there's actually something I've never told you. What is it, Mom? The truth is, you were already in my womb back then. I found out late, but I might have taken away a part of your life force. No, perhaps that's exactly what I did. Because they say the life force given by an angel is determined at birth. Me finding out late just sounds like an excuse. Can you forgive me? I made that decision on my own, without asking you. Hearing this, Nay exclaimed, Whoa, really? Was I really present at that historic moment? When I get back, the first thing I'm going to do is brag to the Knight's Order. No, better yet, Maybe I'll throw a tea party in the capital to celebrate? I was really there? Nay, that's not what I meant. Nay interrupted. I have a secret. I've never told anyone. Do you want to hear it? You haven't told anyone? Nope, not even Dad or Count Eigeton knows. What is it? It's about the strange dreams I sometimes have. In my dreams, I'm in a dark, warm, and very comfortable space. It's truly very peaceful. But before long, I start to feel someone else's emotions transferring to me. That person is desperately longing to save someone, and that emotion flows right into me. They beg, saying they're willing to die. Just please save that person. And I become so sad that I feel like crying, so I also scream at the top of my lungs, hoping that both of them wouldn't die. Then I would wake up, and each time, my heart would feel so warm and full of emotions. It's strange, isn't it? Just a moment ago in my dream I was so sad, but now I feel so happy. I thought it was just a silly dream, but after hearing you tell the story, I understand now that the memories of that day just keep replaying in my dreams. Did the angel do that because they were afraid I'd forget what I agreed to? You said it was because you felt sorry for me, so you absolutely had to tell me. Even if that dream was just a dream, it's completely fine. I promise you, I would have definitely agreed without any hesitation, because I'm the person who loves you the second most in the world. Moved, Layla shed tears of happiness. Thank you, Nay. Suddenly, a voice called out. Layla. Nay said, Dad's here, the person who loves you most in the world. Layla, your eyes are red. Did Nay make you sad? Not at all. It's because of this statue. Actually, Mom just said I was there at that time too. Taylor laughed and said, we really should just destroy this statue. Wouldn't it be better to remake it based on the truth? No, we can't leave false evidence standing in history. Besides, it's right in the middle of the royal palace. If we destroy it without permission, we'll probably be punished. Don't do that. Let's ask the Duke to make a new one that's accurate. We just need to make it bigger and more realistic than this statue. Oh, do we have enough savings for that? Of course we do. I am the young lady of Duke Ashtart. Then since we're in the capital, let's find someone right away. Nay replied excitedly, okay. Listening to the two of them talk made Sion and Layla feel helpless. We'll probably have to stay in the capital for a few more days, and no matter who we find, they won't be as good as the royal sculptor. But that's not too important, by the way. What did she say about that matter? About that? She said she had a dream, and in the dream I was heartbroken, begging that it was okay for me to die, as long as I could save you. And she answered that she wanted both of us to live, and said that even if the dream wasn't real, she would still save me. Are you feeling more at ease now? Layla replied, yes, that's such a relief. Actually, there's something I've wanted to ask you for a long time. Tell me, how do you feel now? Do you still think I'm dragging you down to hell? How long ago was that? Is it still important to you? I think I was truly wrong back then. Every time you hurt me, forgave me, and loved me, in all of those moments, I felt like you were stepping into hell with me. Then, at some point, I realized the place where I stood wasn't hell at all. He kissed her hand and said, I will probably stay here forever until you let go. Thank you, Layla. No, that's not what I meant, and you even kissed the wrong spot. Sion immediately replied, you're right. He placed a sweet kiss on her lips. I love you, Layla. The story ends. Thank you for following the story to the very end. While you wait for a new series, please check out other stories on the Chin Mui Review channel to kill some time. We wish you all lots of happiness and positive energy. Goodbye and see you again.